All right, so I've been doing those 1 p.m. lives on the NBC News Instagram account, but today I am also going live at 3 p.m. Eastern with Roker to talk about Earth Day, which is today, and how coronavirus has impacted the environment. And I'm so excited to talk to Al. Tune in at 3 p.m. Hello, everyone. I am back for the second time today. My name is Savannah Sellers. I am an NBC News correspondent, and I am so excited that what I am back for is actually to talk with Roker about Earth Day and his incredible reporting on how this is happening with climate change. Let's see here if I can. Waiting for Al to join. I was a little nervous about this working, so hopefully we are good to go. So, hi, Al.
Hey, Savannah, how are you?
I'm good. First of all, I miss you.
Well, I miss you too.
Oh my goodness. This is like, I think this is the longest I haven't seen you in a really long time.
I know. You know, my lens is a little dirty. I didn't realize that. Hold on just a sec.
No problem. Take your time.
There we go.
Perfect. Your home studio has been so impressive to see every morning.
Well, thank you. We're having a good time. What's funny is my wife, Deborah Roberts, who is also on Good Morning America from time to time, we are actually sometimes broadcasting live at the same time. So it's kind of wacky.
That's pretty funny. Have you guys had any like audio issues talking at the same time?
No, I mean, there've been some times where we have been talking at the same time, but it's worked out okay. So we're happy.
All right, great. Well, it's so good to see you. So first of all, Earth Day, I feel like one of the most sort of important things to point out is just the fact that this must be a lot different than the Earth Day that you were planning on reporting.
Oh my gosh, we were going to be doing a whole week of stories about climate change, especially along the eastern seaboard, when it comes to sea level rise, climate change, all those things that are happening. And we were going to try to do it sustainably by taking Amtrak, starting in Boston and making our way down the coast to Florida. And we had already started shooting and doing pieces. And then this happened. And in the beginning, we thought, okay, well, we can still do it. And then as time went on, we realized, no, we can't. And so, but, you know, they say life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. This coronavirus pandemic led us to realize that this too is impacting the environment, but strangely in positive ways.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. What have we seen, and is this difference because people are staying at home?
That's exactly it. Worldwide. I mean, it's like everybody around the world got together and said, you know what, let's just shut everything down. The problem, of course, is it was done at the expense of a lot of lives. A lot of people have died. A lot of people have been injured. A lot of people have been in hospitals. Economies have been really destabilized. But when you look at what it's meant to the environment, all of a sudden you're seeing animals, wildlife making its way back into the cities, like San Francisco and New York, upstate New York, and other places where and not just here, but around the world. There's suddenly, like in Thailand, they're seeing sea turtles nesting where they haven't in more than in a half a decade. Coyote on the streets of San Francisco. So that's been very interesting. And of course, the pollution levels have dropped precipitously. 2 weeks ago, Los Angeles was the cleanest city on the planet.
I cannot believe that.
I mean, what are the odds? So we have seen those changes, but we know that they're short-lived, because if we just go back to what we were doing, we're going to see those changes go away. Already China started ramping up its factories again, and their pollution levels are rising again. So, the trick is going to be, can we go back, get our economies back, get people back at work, kids back at school, but institute policies that allow us to at least preserve some of these gains we've made in cleaner air.
Absolutely. So do you think that that's possible, and what can be done that this remains sustainable with us all going back to work, with the economy coming back?
Well, I think, we need to, I think as people look at what they've been doing, do they end up changing what they do? For example, going on conferences, you know, do people look at that and say, do we need to put people on planes and
Wow.
fly to to conference for a couple of hours, or do we do like we've been doing on Zoom or Skype?
Right.
People have been riding bikes more. Do more and more people ride bikes? Do we push our legislators to enact and reenact clean air regulations? There have been rollbacks of mileage, of emissions, of water cleanliness, all these things. We need to tell our representatives, our senators, our congressmen, that we want to try to maintain some of the gains that we've received, that we've achieved, during this period. It's been terrible, obviously, but there are ways to do this without wrecking economies, to try to bring people back to work, back to school, but also, back to a cleaner environment.
Right. Well, it's good news to hear that it does seem like there are ways that it can continue. Can we talk a little bit more about the animals really quickly? Because in your story this morning, I love the coyotes roaming the streets of Chicago. And I heard you talking also on MSNBC today, like birds even chirping differently, like just all these different things that just happen naturally in the environment when this is going on.
Yeah, my wife just came by and told me to smile more. So and look at the camera more. There she is. Now she's out. Anyway, it's interesting because they're even in Florida, they expect to see a record number of baby turtles born because there's nobody on the beaches now. Florida and a number of states are reopening their beaches, so will that hold? I don't know. But it's encouraging to see that if we back off a little bit, just a little bit, we can see great changes. The national parks, they say, yes, like Yosemite and the Grand Tetons and all these different national parks are seeing bear, coyote, wolves in places where there used to be people because they're like going, oh, hey, nobody's around. Let's go out. Hey, this is great.
Yeah. The picture this morning on Today's Show of the coyote in the middle of the street in Chicago. It's crazy. Actually, since we've been on here, I've even seen people commenting that are watching right now saying how many more coyotes they're hearing just at their house right now. Somebody, by the way, also said Roker for president since we've been on. There we go.
No, that's too hard a job. I know. As much as I like the idea, no, we don't need that. Although it would be nice to have that sweet limo and the chopper.
Yeah, Air Force One. Well, one of the things that you are leading, though, that I think is so cool to talk about is our climate unit at NBC. And I know it's something that we all are sort of thinking and feeling and talking about is coronavirus, but we are still working on these other stories. Can you tell us just a little bit about the climate unit in general?
Yeah, what I'm very proud of that our honchos at NBC, from Andy Lack, Noah Oppenheim, Janelle Rodriguez, they've all said climate is an important story, and let's put the resources we should behind it. So, we're bringing together a large group across NBC that has a lot of expertise, whether it's I'm not looking out the window, sweetheart. I'm just looking off sometimes thinking. She just brought a sign that says, stop looking out the window. I'm just, being contemplative. I'm contemplating things as I talk. Anyway, that's the beauty of being at home all the time. Anyway, we've got our NBC weather unit, we've got the business unit, we've got the science unit, we've got our technology folks, we've got the medical unit, and they all have expertise in climate in different regions and areas. So we brought them all together, and created the NBC News Climate Unit so that we can start reporting on the climate and the good things and the not so good things. And we're not pontificating. We're not giving you our opinions. We are just going to give you facts and science. And to that end, we're really excited because we announced today that NBC News, Telemundo, and MSNBC, all platforms, we've joined the global initiative, journalism initiative called Covering Climate Now. And this is a consortium of different journalism groups, not just in the United States, but around the world, who are covering climate. And kind of this, it's an ad hoc group that looks at and shares the best in climate journalism. And then you can take that, use it, shape it to your particular city, climate, country, whatever. We've got local stations, there are networks, both locally and globally. And so it's very exciting to be part of this consortium that is going to be creating and sharing the best and the latest information on climate.
Absolutely. Also, Al, I'm extremely impressed. Did your over the shoulder just change as you were discussing that? Look at this. You are so much more high tech than any of us are at home right now.
You know what? I was an AV geek nerd in high school. We were on the AV squad. And, back in the day, this was before video, a lot of video. We were the ones who would thread projectors, run film strips, do all that stuff. So I'm in my element right now. I've got for return for the Today Show, I've got a couple of iPads. I use this phone that I'm talking to you on, this iPhone I'm talking to you on, is what I broadcast on the Today Show. I've got some lights. I've got 2 laptops here that I'm working with. So I love it. I love all this stuff.
You're also, speaking of Earth Day, I hope getting some more time in kind of more nature than we do here in Manhattan.
Yeah, it's funny. We're in upstate New York, and we've had bear on our roads, coyote, fox, but we've also had some wild weather too. The sun is out finally, but it was snowing, flurrying this morning. Yesterday it was raining, sleeting, then snowing.
Oh my gosh.
So we've had a chance to enjoy some varied weather.
Your neck of the woods. What's going on?
Literally, we're in the woods.
Yeah. All right. Well, just last sort of thought for you, just on this Earth Day and with everything that's going on with coronavirus, does this seem like a little bit of, hope that we can find that something like this is happening to our planet?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a reminder, this was a hard reboot, but that we don't have to take such drastic measures, that we can try and find, a common ground where we have a thriving economy, but we also are stewards of our environment and make sure, because look, in the last couple of months, we've seen emissions drop by 5%. That's still below the 8% estimated we need to do year after year to just hold the line of where we are. So, and again, in talking with some climate scientists for the piece this morning, I think the gentleman's name was Chris Karanhaus. He said, look, this is all well and good, but even once we go back to, full capacity, assuming we do in the next month or so, we're still probably going to be on pace to have, again, record-setting amounts of pollutants in the atmosphere. So we still have a lot further to go.
Right. And those bigger conversations, even aside from lessons, I guess, that we're learning right now, like biking and that type of stuff, is, fossil fuels versus renewable energy, all that type of stuff, I guess.
Yeah. But everybody can take a part in this. I mean, again, do you need to drive into work? Can you take mass transit? Do you have to take that trip? Or if you do take that trip, is there a more sustainable way to get to where you're going? These are all things I think people are going to be really, because again, we look at it and we think do I really, because we're going to be in and out of this new world for months to come. And so I think people are really going to take a second thought and take pause to think about what they're going to do. And that may, again, still restarting our economy, but changing the way we do it.
Right, right. A lot to think about, you know, just in general with what's going on with the world, how we're all treating each other, everything else, and then also our planet.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you for talking to us on this Earth Day, Al. It was so good to see you.
You too, Savannah. I can't wait till we are at least 6 feet apart back in Studio 1A.
I know, right? Cannot wait to get back there, see you, Savannah, Hoda, everybody. Missed that flight, guys.
Yeah.
All right, stay
okay,
safe.
dear.
I'll see you tomorrow morning on the air.
Bye.
Bye.